Go time. It's that time of day. 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Time to go live. We're in the middle of our winter stream of all things wings. And our guest tonight is Rick Stewart. Excited to have Rick. He's Mr. Pistol Wing T. Has a ton of content out. At least I'm hoping he's coming. I just spoke to him recently, and I don't see him in my waiting room yet here on our Zoom call. So I'm hoping he's showing up. I'm hoping he's not having any difficulties. I got my Twitter open and my email just in case he's trying to get a hold of me. So I'm not sure. Hopefully we're going to have Coach Stewart here in the house real soon. Guys, welcome everybody to the live stream. We just hang out for 30 minutes and talk. Well, just kind of talk, right? I mean, mostly, yes, football, but coaching. And we always get to our topic eventually, but we try to just hang out and have some fun and get to know everybody, which includes getting to know you people that are in the chat. So thank you so much for joining us. Leave us a thumbs up when you get here and check in when you get here. Let us know where you are watching from. Would really appreciate that. Looks like I just lost my music. Try to get my music back. How about this? Play. There we go. We got a little background music now. There's Coach. I see him now. Coach is in the waiting room, and we'll get him in here in just a moment. Guys, thanks again for coming. Rick Stewart in the house, and obviously Rick Stewart has a ton of products out and has been speaking at clinics and whatnot for years and years. So plenty of insight to offer, but I'm excited just to get to know him. Right? I've seen his name everywhere. I've talked to so many guys that were like, oh yeah, it started by, I looked up Coach Stewart stuff. It started by, like, I've talked to so many guys that their progression to where they went offensively started like that. So I've talked to so many guys like that. I've never met Coach Stewart though, so I'm excited to meet him and get to know him a little bit. Our sponsor tonight, sponsored by our show, stream sponsored by Coach Stone Football. Lay a foundation by going back to the basics with Coach Stone Football. Coach Stone has over 15 books available to purchase on Amazon. Want more information about Back to the Basics Football Drill Manual Series and new CSF Coaching Magazine? Then go to his website, CoachStoneFootball.com, and follow him on Twitter at Coach_Stone_MT. What's up, Larry from Georgia? Great to see you. Great to have you. Tonight's guest is Rick Stewart. Let's go meet Coach Stewart. Coach Stewart has to be super busy. Excited to meet Coach. Here we go. There he is. Coach Stewart, how are you? Let's see if we got sound yet. Let me know when you got me, Coach. Let me know when you got me. Does everybody else have me? Trying to hit my volume here too. All right. Coach, can you hear me? You can. We can't hear you yet.
Turn on. That's better.
There you are. Now we got you, Coach Stewart. Welcome to the live show. We are excited to have you. Kenny Simpson in the house here to say hi. I know you've been working with Kenny recently, and Kenny's a great gun wing T dude. I was just saying how so many people I've talked to, Coach, have told me, right, like they've here where they've landed offensively, and it kind of starts with, well, I started with Rick Stewart. I wanted to do this, and I started with something by Rick Stewart. So you've been producing stuff for so long. When did you start? This is a brief answer, because I actually still got to do like some basic intro stuff, but when did you start running the pistol wing T?
2012. We wanted to throw the ball, and so we went in 2012, and we did. We had success. We accomplished all of our goals. We had a really good season that year, lost in semifinals. But then it really took off with the whole reading unblocked defenders and where we're at now. The offense is in a different place than when I started, but 2012. And I'd say the whole publishing and me being able to help other coaches started around 2014.
Okay. So I appreciate that. And by the way, Coach, we've never met, and I was saying that earlier. My name's Nate. I've been coaching Illinois. It was high school football here in Illinois for this would have been season 20, and we're praying for a season 20 here, and it's not looking real good. We're pretty bummed about that. But Coach, as I was putting this together tonight, I went, well, shoot, I don't even know where Coach Stewart coaches. Where do you coach now?
I don't even know. My whole career has been in California. I'm born and raised in California. Pretty much my whole career has been a head coach. I never, and I regret it, I didn't kind of come up the ranks like a lot of guys did. I got out of the Marine Corps and I went in for what I thought was a science interview at McFarland, the movie with Kevin Costner.
Mm-hmm.
And 15 minutes later, I walked out as the head football coach. And I had just got out of the Marine Corps. I had coached a little youth football and JV football way back in the day. So I kind of got just thrown into the fire. Then with my leukemia diagnosis a couple years ago, I stepped down from coaching in California, and I came across a really wonderful guy, one of my best friends now, and he brings me out every year to coach in Pennsylvania. So for the last 3 years, I go live on his ranch, and my son lives out there. And so I live with my son on this ranch, and we coach this team in Pennsylvania. We've had a lot of success. Last year, we were undefeated district champs. But I still live in California. I'm in California right now. I only go to Pennsylvania July 1 to like November 1 to coach that football team out there. It's kind of a very unique opportunity that not a lot of people do.
Wow, you just stay out there for football season. You've been doing that how many seasons?
3 years.
Wow, how fun. You know, I get a big thrill out of, I guess, just seeing new parts of the country and and everybody does life so different, and even high school football so different, the little nuances and how we do playoffs and what's a big deal around here. I love that. So I've been to a handful of schools. The staff I work with right now, they've all kind of been at the same place for a while, so they all kind of tease me about it. But I always just say, like, I love that I've been to so many places. So that has to be cool. Hey, can you think of any differences off the top of your head that was like Pennsylvania football versus California? Not like quality-wise, but just like culture-wise.
Well, I've been really blessed. I've been flown into 90 high schools to put the pistol wing tee in, or the defense, but mainly the pistol wing tee. So I've been really, really blessed on this journey. Been real aggressive speaking for Glazier. I think I've spoken at, over 50 Glazier clinics. So I have been able to visit a lot of states. I would say definitely when you get down south, I was blown away. You coach in California your life and you think this is the way that football is. Like, we do double headers on Friday nights. I just thought everybody did double headers on Friday night. I thought everybody had to teach 6 periods of biology all day like I did. I thought all of your coaches were walk-on coaches. I jokingly say they all have real jobs.
Right.
And I get to these other parts of the country, and all of the coaches work for the school district. The head football coach doesn't teach an academic class. He's got a couple of periods weight training, maybe a study hall. Kenny's always texting me from study hall, like he never teaches a class. And I'm going to staff meetings. I'm going to professional development. I'm a science teacher. I'm doing chemistry labs, and I'm the head football coach. That blew their mind. They could not believe that. And so that, I think that's what really blew my mind. Wasn't so much the community's commitment, because the fans here and the mothers here love their sons as much as anywhere else. And when we were winning, we stacked the place. We had 7,000-8,000 people in the stands and bringing home an $80,000 gate. It was the change in the difference, the way the school districts support it. It is so different in California. The football coach is on the same level as the girls golf coach. There's no weight training. If you want to lift weights in California, you're going to bring the boys in before school, or you're going to come in after school. For all 16 years of my career, our weight training started at 6 a.m. It was a pre-zero. The kids didn't even get a grade. It was a walk-on, a volunteer course. But you get to Pennsylvania and Alabama and Georgia and North Carolina, and all the football players are in a class, and the school district's committed in putting them in a class, and the school district's committed to hiring coaches to help them. I think that's what really blew my mind, was the commitment from the school district. And so now I'm really struggling knowing that I'm not really in a hurry to be a head coach in California again, because that now I'm kind of upset about it. And then it blows my mind that the JVs play like on Monday night, or they play on Tuesday. Like in Pennsylvania, our JVs get on a bus and they leave and they go to play a game on Monday night. Then they get to come home and play with us on Friday night. I'm thinking, my sophomore year, I would have been in heaven thinking I could play 20 games. And so that was really radical. I'd say parent-wise and people, I think it's the same.
Yeah.
I've had very supportive booster clubs and parents in California. The fans here are as crazy about their football as anywhere else. And I think the coaching in California is really, really good. Some of my really good buddies, I mean, they're really good coaches. I think there's an attitude in some states that California doesn't play good football. And I would argue that. In fact, I'd say that California has, I've been some states where I'm kind of like, whoa, the coaching here sucks. but it's the difference in the way that the school districts support it. I'd say if I had to sum it up, that's it. It's the school district's attitude towards football or athletics in general is different in California.
I could see that. Yeah. And I haven't been around the nation to speak, but I've been around the nation visiting people. And I see that same thing. Yeah, it's just so interesting. I can sit with a guy and just kind of start and go, okay, what's football life like here? And it's so much different everywhere. Dom Pasolano in the house. Dom Pasolano was a head football coach up in the Chicago suburbs. Took the freshman coaching job at Westlake High School in Austin, Texas. So welcome, Dom. Glad to have you here. Again, Kenny's saying should let shush on how good his gig is, that he's not teaching 6 classes of biology. Well, Coach Kenny Simpson, Coach Stewart, a couple quick questions here before we get to football. So these have got to be fast answers. You grew up in California, okay? If you're not watching football on TV, what sport would you be caught watching?
It would probably be college basketball. I really like college basketball. My daughter's a D1 coach, and so I was the AAU state director when she was going up through, so I really have a passion for girls basketball.
Okay.
And then on the boys side, I like college basketball. I've really been turned off by the NBA lately. Baseball was my favorite sport growing up as a player, but it bores the heck out of me. My ADHD, whatever I got, I can't sit through a baseball game.
And if you had to go bowling right now, you would probably bowl a what?
A 5. I suck at bowling.
I always say I'm the best bad bowler ever. I can get 9 pins every time. But apparently that's
Bowling
a horrible score.
Bowling and golfing, in my mind, I get better the more I've been drinking.
Isn't that true? Okay, man. Well, here's the last thing I'm going to do. I got 3 questions for you, 3 trivia questions. It's you against our chat. And we're going to see who answers these football trivia questions first, Coach. Just having some fun, getting to know you a little bit. Question number 1. Who has the better record as an NFL coach, Steve Spurrier or Nick Saban?
Spurrier.
Coach says Spurrier. What do you guys say in the chat? The correct answer is... technically, it's Saban. Saban's record was 15-17, while Spurrier's was 12-20. Question number 2. Name at least 3 running backs that have rushed for 2,000 yards in one season. In the NFL,
One back
sorry.
just did it for the Titans, right? Jamal Henry.
Did he get it?
Yeah, he just got it Sunday.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
He's the 8th one. Terrell Davis, that guy on the Broncos, did it. And I think O.J. Simpson was the first one. And then I'm pretty sure Barry Sanders hit it once.
You've named 4. That's pretty good. Yeah, so there's been 8. If Henry hit it, then Henry was the 8th. There were 7 others. How about you guys in the chat? Who else can you guys think of?
Henry was the 2nd Titan. There was another Titan that hit it.
Was there really?
I can't remember his name.
Well, we've got, maybe that was Chris Johnson, maybe? Was he the other Titan?
That was it.
Eric Dickerson.
I was going to say Eddie George, but I knew it wasn't Eddie George.
Yeah, Eric Dickerson, Adrian Peterson, Jamal Lewis, Barry Sanders, Terrell Davis, Chris Johnson, O.J. Simpson. And now Derrick Henry, right? Man. Okay, last question, Coach. Do you know what college has the most pro football Hall of Famers?
Hall of Famers?
Yeah, the most that went on to be NFL Hall of Famers.
Those are the tough ones because you get back to the 20s and 30s. So the Notre Dame and USC pops in my head. Everybody thinks Alabama. I'm sure Alabama's up there, but I'm going to go with USC, Notre Dame, or Ohio State.
Very good guesses because those are actually all of the top 3, Coach. Notre Dame won with 13, USC 12. I'll tell you what, in another 50 years, though, Alabama will be at the top of that list.
When you watch the NFL draft pick, like 20 of the 32 draft picks are Alabama every year. It blows my mind the players that either you give Saban credit, right? The players that he's developing, we like to give coaches credit, or the players he's recruiting. With my publishing company, I've gotten to really good friends with lots of college coaches. I'm publishing a lot of college coaches, and it's been interesting to hear their perspective on football because it's all about recruiting. You get to their level, you think that it's X's and O's. I think high school coaches are more consumed with X's and O's than college guys. They are all about the recruiting.
Yeah.
They don't bring that recruiting class. Their wife and them, they're packing up and going to another town. They lose their house payment. Isn't
that the truth, man? I know that's the thing. When you get the dudes that they're getting, it's almost like you better not lose. You had the number one class for 7 years straight. All right, listen, here we go. What is like day one install formation with your pistol wing tee? What is like day one, this is the formation we're coming in, let's say whether it's your freshman or whatever, basics of your offense formation.
Well, we have our offense that our base formation, we don't even call it, which is a 2x2, 2 split ends, 2 wings, quarterbacks at 3, tailbacks at 5. That's just our base. We call it loose from Bruce Cobley. I learned from Bruce Cobley. We call it loose in our terminology, but I start there because we sugar huddle. The big part of what we do is our sugar huddle and how we sprint out. And so, and then our motions, because I do something unique. Our quarterback doesn't put the guy in motion. The wings are in charge of going in motion because I always feel like the quarterback, I put a lot on their plate because we read an unblocked defender on every single play. So the quarterback has a lot to process. We're not really audibling. I'm a kind of control freak and don't like to give that away. The most I'll let a quarterback do is a check with me. So the running backs, it's their job to know if they go in motion on that play and when they go in motion. I always say that it depends on the genetics your mama gave you. Mm-hmm. I could have 2 right wings, and one right wing could be like a 4.940 guy. For guys I coach, that's fast. I've never coached a scholarship athlete ever in 18 years as head coach. And then the backup wing could be like Rick Stewart in high school, run like a 5.540. So the kid with the 5.540 may not go in motion. So I just want to be in our base formation because I'm teaching the kids how to sugar huddle, how to sprint out, how to do all the motions. How does that happen? How's that timing go? And then right away, though, I love having a tight end. Roger and Holmes and I are very similar in that, is that I love having a tight end so that I can manipulate the defense. And I don't want the defense to be stacked. I don't want the defense to be symmetrical. I want the defense to declare a strength. And I'm going to do everything I can every Friday night to make you declare a strength, whether it's to my tight end or to the field. I'm going to make you declare a strength. And if you're not going to declare a strength, I'm going to keep putting more people over there until you do declare a strength. I'm a huge unbalanced guy. So it's the tight end personnel, still with the 2 wings, tight end, 1 receiver, 2 receivers. We'll stay in that for about a week until I get the terminology, the communication. Can we snap the ball? Can we go in motion? That's where we start.
Well, and I feel like I'm very similar in the sense that I want you to declare a strength. But in your opinion, why is that so important? Like, why do you really want to get them out of that balanced look? Like, is there something that's like a core of your offense going, I want to get to blank and I need to get them out of their stack to do it?
Well, as everybody knows, wing T is a gap scheme, and that's making a comeback in the air raid zone genre, right? They always say, well, I zone block and then I gap block. Well, that's us. That's wing T. And why do we do that? 2 years ago, we were 12-0. We had 6,000 yards of total offense. Our quarterback ran for 2,200. Our 2 running backs both ran for 1,000. And we've had 10,000 yards in the last 2 seasons. In fact, I think last year we were number 1 in Pennsylvania, all divisions. My right guard was 140 pounds. My left guard was 185. And then this year, COVID, this was a weird year. But this year, I think one guard we tipped in at 185. The other one was 165. That 2 years ago, we're 12 and our tight end was 185. My point is I have to gap scheme, right? Because my kids are so small. I've got a 140-pound guard trying to block. Now, that 140-pound guard won 100 wrestling matches. He was a tough little SOB.
Sure.
And I would be if I'm in a bar fight, I want little Pistol Pete. We call him Pistol Pete. I want Pistol Pete by my side. I love that kid. But he's blocking a 3-tech that's going to tip the scale, 240, 250, 260. And so I had to give Pete some advantages, right? I can't let that 3-tech just stand over my 140-pound guard and pound him all night. So I want to be able to manipulate and get you going with that gap scheme. The biggest problem is people ask me what gives defenses the hardest time in the wing T, and I think it's head-up alignment, a 2 alignment, the 4s and the 6s, because the kid doesn't know what gap, because everything's gap scheme, and since you're not in a gap, it causes confusion. You say, well, the next guy over, it's gap down backer. Well, what if that guy's coming to down block, but the guy who's down block, he pinches that gap, and now I'm trying to skate to backer, and like, well, coach, I was trying to skate the backer and he hit me, and then my buddy could, and it causes a lot of problems in for us. And I think most wing T, if I play a wing T team, I'm gonna be head up. So I want to keep manipulating the defense and force you to get into a 3 and a 4-eye. And I need you to shade my tight end, whether it's inside shade or outside shade. I really don't care. I have answers for both, but I do not want you sitting in a head up alignment at all. But then vice versa, I'm also spending the whole game trying to keep you in a 2 safety look, because with the 1 safety look, now you got 8, 9 in the box.
Sure.
And so when I go to these tight ends unbalanced, they're always going to roll their secondary, and I get the 1 safety. So then you got that. That's another problem. I always attack the defense. It's a divorce front, right? What am I doing versus the front, and then what am I doing against the secondary? And to me, they're separated. But I've always found a way. There was only one time in my entire career where we went the whole year without a tight end. I couldn't find one. I brought girls out. I brought cheerleaders out. I brought fat girls out. I brought dogs out. I could not find a tight end that year. And so we had to run the whole year without a tight end. But every year I find a tight end. I usually find my 3rd best tackle on the roster. I call him in. And I lie to him. I say, hey, Johnny, we're going to make you a tight end. We're going to throw you the ball. And I give him an 80 jersey, and then I never throw him the ball. That's usually how we find our tight end.
But he's happy as can be. Coach, as I was looking at some of the videos you had on CoachTube and just looking at topics, I'm seeing a ton of option concepts here. And when I kind of like look at the whole gamut, it's like, all right, sweep, counter plays, veer, midline I saw, right? You got sweeps, you got RPOs and play action. I'm like, this list is getting really, really long. So do you focus in one place one year based on personnel you have over another, or do you just carry it all?
Well, I carry it all. It's in my playbook. I'm not going to go out there one year and have to go try to find terminology and what am I going to call this new play. So I have it all. We all use that analogy of the toolbox, right? I have tools in my toolbox that my wife will tell you that I haven't used in a couple of years. You know what? I'm not a real buck sweep guy, believe it or not. I know you're supposed to be, but it's so expensive and it takes so much time to get really good at buck sweep. This year, it was the first time I really had gotten back to my roots. We were very good here at buck sweep this year, and because I had a no-mo buck sweep play where our wings didn't go in motion, and I like anything with no motion. And then we really rolled the fullback through like a midline concept, and then hand it off. That was really good to us this year, and our right wing had a lot of yards in that. But I've really got an option again because I've always coached these really small players. And so the saying is, if we got somebody that we can't block, which for us is every Friday night, then I'm going to read it. In California, and my wife's Hispanic, so I hope this doesn't come off racist, and that makes my kids, I think, 49% Hispanic. But I coach at IBM schools. I jokingly call them IBM schools. Itty bitty Mexican. That last job I had where I was really successful, the school that's on all the DVDs we made. We won, 48 games in 40. I mean, we were rolling people, and I think I probably had 40 or 45 Hispanics, and that's not a bad thing. Those are really tough kids. You don't have to preach culture and family when you have a team of Hispanics. They get family, like they're together. There's not a lot of selfishness with that culture. I'm very envious of that culture. But you know what? You don't grow them big. That's why there's not a lot of NFL players that have been Hispanic. So I've always had to find out a way to win with, like I said, 180, 190 pound guards. My wings are usually just really tough kids that play second base on the baseball team. And so that's why I've kind of evolved into this option game, because when whoever you have that night that I can't block, then I have a way of optioning any of the interior 8, whether it's inside backers. Coach, we even option the one tech on guard trap now. So I'll if you got a war daddy, then I ain't gonna block him. I'll just read him. So I'm probably going to lose my decoder ring tonight because, yeah, I'm pretty much heavy jet sweep. Everything's based on jet sweep. And off that jet sweep, we do our power read, power wrap, power lead series, which I'm going to be talking on at that Wings and Things clinic.
Yeah.
And then we can fake the jet, run belly underneath, and fake the jet, run down underneath, and fake the jet, run guard trap underneath. And then Herschel Moore, legendary coach who really influenced Roger Holmes's career, he taught me how to run midline, inside veer, and outside veer with the same blocking scheme. We call it our ABC rules.
Okay.
So for our linemen, that's one play. It's called our ABCs. And it's a real, and Herschel Moore is such a legend. Roger Holmes gives him so much credit, and I do too. So some people say, God, you have midline and inside veer and outside veer. No, that's one play for us. It's just hitting different holes it's the same blocking scheme though. And again, I have a whole hour. I'm going to talk about that in that Wings and Things clinic that Kenny and I are doing.
When you run midline out of the gun, is it still quarterback will follow through that second hole? Like, is it quarterback through, or is it something different? Because I've always just looked at midline out of the gun and thought, can it work the same as under center?
So in this journey, I've become really good friends with a couple of shotgun guys. Kenny, obviously. Scott Meadows just got Tennessee Coach of the Year. Adam Matheson's like me. He's winning up in Washington against teams he should not be beating. Every night Adam's going against 4 or 5 D1 guys, and Adam's like me, he's never had a D1 guy. My opinion and why I did not go down the shotgun route, I didn't need to run all those RPOs and see those shotgun guys, they go shotgun because they want to have a sidecar, because they want to run the RPO stuff that they see on TV, and they want the fullback here so it can come across, and then they run their RPOs and it runs this way. But see, to me, that's the problem is when you put that guy at the sidecar now, I can't run guard trap. I got to run quarterback trap. Guard trap's not going to hit very fast because everybody's at 5 yards. I could not run midline. I couldn't run veer. If my guy's a sidecar, well, I can only run buck sweep one way. Now the defense knows which way I'm going to run buck sweep. So Colin Kaepernick was at Nevada Reno at the time, and we went pistol, and I'll never look back. And the reason, if I had to sum it up, the reason I like the pistol instead of the shotgun is because I want to be, the run game is my passion. I'm not such in a hurry to have all these sexy pass plays and all these air raid concepts and all these RPOs. I still believe in high school football, you have to stop the run and you have to run the ball, or at some point you're gonna get hit in the mouth. And it's usually when you get in the playoffs and it's cold weather. So by going pistol, I can run any play in my playbook, right or left, and I'm always balanced, and the defense doesn't know. And I think from a quarterback perspective, midline and veer's better out of the pistol because the quarterback has more time to decide. But there's no doubt, and I haven't solved the problem, we don't hit the line of scrimmage as fast as we used to when we were under center. Midline under center was a very hard play to stop when that fullback's in a 3-point stance. He's just hitting it right now. Hit it hard, get a yard, we always told him. In the pistol, the midline doesn't hit as fast. We still get a lot of yards, though. Sure. And midline, I'd say, still 9 out of 10 times is a keep for us. But my quarterbacks, every camp I go to, I can put the whole offense in 2 days. And every quarterback, without a doubt, usually they're bringing me in because they were an under center wing team and they want to go to pistol. And those quarterbacks always tell me on Sunday after the camp's wrapping up, they always say, man, I really like the pistol better. I analogize it to when you're driving on the freeway, right? Do you want to tailgate everybody that you're following, and then it raises your anxiety that you're gonna hit them, or do you want to back up and be 2 car lengths away? And I think our quarterbacks like being in the pistol or the gun. I'm sure Kenny and those guys would agree to me, because you back that quarterback up, and now he's got a little bit more time just to kind of process things. When he's under center, man, it's hitting him right now. And I always say, if you're totally sold out on running the ball, go under center. If you're totally going to settle out on throwing the ball, go shotgun. The pistol's like that marriage, right? My quarterback's at 3 now, so I'm still not as good as I was under center in the run, but I'd argue that I'm better than I was in the gun. But I'm not as good as a thrower as if I was in the gun. But I'm a better thrower than when I was under center. So that pistol's kind of the hybrid between shotgun and pistol and under center, and it's a good marriage for me because I still want to run the ball 40 times a night and throw it 20. And so I'm going to lean towards things that allow me to be better at the run, since I'm running the ball 40 times and only throwing it 20.
Well, Coach, we are at our time limit. I got one last question for you. I'm going to just ask a couple little details about that snap. I'm going to check in with our guys in the chat. First of all, everybody that came here tonight and checked in with us, thank you so much for being here, guys, and watching and supporting. If you could leave us a thumbs up, it would be much appreciated. If you're not subscribed yet, we would love to have you guys subscribe to our channel. We'll be live again here tomorrow night with Wade DeVries out of Roxana, Illinois. He's an under center wing tee guy. And then, Coach, I'm going to shout out my sponsor one more time, and then we're going to close things out. Coach Stone Football is our sponsor this month. Lay a foundation by going back to the basics with Coach Stone Football. Coach Stone has over 15 books available to purchase on Amazon. Want more information about Back to the Basics Football Drill Manual Series and new CSF Coaching Magazine? Check out his website, CoachStoneFootball.com. Coach, do you ever change the snap? Meaning, do you have anything in your system where you are under center, or are you ever at full gun, or is everything always that same 3-yard snap?
All of our lower kids are under center. So my son coaches the JV team in Pennsylvania, and he fights me on this because he was a quarterback, but I make him go under center. So when the kids get to us, they've already had a year under center. And no, we're primarily pistol, but we do have the ability to go under center. Bad weather, your backup quarterback has to go in, or God forbid, like that's happened to me this year. I had 2 consecutive centers. So we only played 7 games with COVID. We were on our 3rd center, and the snap was going all over the place, and we just couldn't get it down. So there was some times we had to go under center. 4th and 1. I love going for 2 points. I don't like kicking PATs. We'll go under center. Like I said, we'll sprint up and go under center for guard trap and midline because we sugar huddle and sprint out. So
Okay.
We do have the ability to go under center. I don't ever go to gun because when I go to gun, that radically changes all the backfield stuff. All the backfield stuff changes when my quarterback's at 5. But my kid's at under center. He takes 3 steps back. He's at pistol. His footwork changes when he's at 3, but nobody else is affected. Our fullback's the same. Our wings are the same. The rest of our offense, they don't care whether he's in pistol or under center. And so I'd say 10% is probably pushing it, but I'm definitely under center 5 to 10% of the time. You're asking with the snap real quick. We knuckleball it, so we cone to cone. We put the cone on the ground, and we grab the cone. We put the laces to the right sideline, so if you knuckleball it, if I'm right-handed, the laces will hit my fingers, and the kid doesn't have to find the laces. And so we're a knuckleball snap. We call it a stiff arm snap. You do not bend your elbow at all. You do not bend your wrist. If the kid's snapping his wrist right at the end, that's when we're getting high snaps. Mm-hmm. And so we knuckleball, stiff arm, let go of the ball at calf length. And yes, we'll be under center 5 to 10% of the time during the year.
I'm always curious how much guys will switch. Anybody in the chat, let us know too. Will you guys ever go under center? Kenny Simpson, does your team ever go under center? Let me know. Well, Coach, I had a blast talking to you. I really appreciate you joining us tonight. Our time is up. Any closing thoughts? I know you got a big clinic coming up.
Yeah, Kenny and I have been working night and day. In fact, you kind of woke me up, Nate. I was taking a nap this afternoon. I pulled an all-nighter last night. The website's up. We're doing a really big clinic. Kenny and I are really excited about it, called the Wings and Things. It's January 20th, 23rd. We've got 28 state title championship type of coaches. We've got 5 college coaches. Yes, the wing tee is still being ran at the college level. And so we're really excited. In fact, I think Kenny and I are probably the only 2 speakers that haven't won a championship ring. So Kenny and I are going to show up with our wedding rings while everybody else shows up with their state championship rings. The lineup is really, really impressive. So hopefully you guys get to the website. Well, it's wingtee.coachesclinic.com. And of course, on social media, Kenny and I will be blasting it all over the place. But we think it's probably going to be the largest wing tee clinic ever ran. I think we got 28 speakers now. There's a little bit of defense. We got a couple guys coming in, how to defend the wing, how to defend. And we also included our first cousins, the single wing and double wing guy. We got some state championship guys that run the single and double wing. Of course, Kenny brought in all of his gun cronies. I've got all my pistol guys. All of my pistol buddies have won the state title since they've bought my books or DVDs. So I'm the only pistol wing tee guy that hasn't won the state title yet. I got to get my crap together. So Kenny and I are really excited about it. Then we have some absolute legends under center. Lance Mancuso's won 8 state titles. We got this guy from Wisconsin, Ken Kraus.
Oh,
he
yeah.
hasn't lost a game in 3 years. he finally is speaking. I really had to beg him.
They're a stud. They got a great program.
He was reluctant. You know, these guys, they don't want to put their secrets on the internet. So
sure.
I had to really kind of coax him out. And I think with Ken, he's going to talk about his practice schedules and how he gets his running backs to fake. He's well known for that. Anybody's ever watched a video of Ken Krause on the YouTube, you don't know how to the ball. I don't know how he teaches his fake. We take a lot of pride in our fakes. I buy the kid a cheeseburger, fry, and a Coke if you get tackled on a fake on Friday night. We take great pride in it. Ken kicks my butt. So I'm really excited about that talk, how he teaches his kids how to fake like that. But Kenny and I are excited. It's in fact, I'm looking at the master schedule right here. And guys, it's January 20th and 23rd. It's called the Wings and Things Online Summit. The website is wingt.coachesclinic.com. Or just get old Kenny and I. We're co-producing it, co-running it. I don't know what that's called in an online world. If we were at the Marriott, I'd be at the bar and Kenny'd be handling the vendors probably.
That makes sense to me, Coach. Well, guys, check out that. At least go check out the website. Take a look at the lineup. It's incredible. If you want to see some of Coach Stewart's stuff on CoachTube, there's a link right below this video. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks so much for joining us. Coach Stewart, it was a pleasure to meet you.
Hey, I do want to put one more thing, and I've been trying to get the word out. Guys, I do have my new stuff on CoachTube. I'm really embarrassed by those videos we put out by Championship Productions. They rushed out. They filmed me. I was really rushed. And those videos that we made on Championship Productions 2012, that's not the Pistol Wing Tee. That's not what we're doing anymore. So if you are interested, reach out to me. Let me get you the most recent updates, the most recent resources. I've got lots of stuff I'll email you for free. I'm not always trying to make a buck. But my latest stuff is on CoachTube, and if you're really interested in running the Pistol Wing Tee the right way, make sure you reach out to me and don't go those god awful DVDs on Championship Productions. I'm totally embarrassed by. When I put them in, I wanted to just throw up. I go, what was I thinking? How did I not get fired running this stuff? Because I didn't know what I was doing back then. They filmed me. I put the offense in 4 weeks before they came out and filmed me. I wasn't ready. Mm-hmm. And so I try to get guys not to go that route, and contact me if you want the most up to date. Hey, Nate, like you said, we've never met. I've been a fan from afar. I really appreciate this. Now I'm going to go back and watch all this fighting on the TV. I guess we stormed is that crazy? What? Hey, we thought New Year's, right? 2020's over. The chaos is going to be over. And now we've got more chaos and National Guard and
everything is madness. Everything is madness. And you know what?
Where's that plane to Mexico right now? Can I just leave for a year and come back?
All I know is all us football coaches are perfectly normal, so we're good.